All right. So it all starts with the Zero Data Loss Autonomous Recovery Service. If for those that don't know, Zero Data Loss Autonomous Recovery Service is Oracle's solution for database protection on Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, also known as OCI, as well as multi-cloud environments. So this service supports a variety of Oracle databases, such as Autonomous Database Dedicated, Exadata Database Service, and Base Database, all in OCI, as well as multi-cloud regions such as Azure, Google Cloud Platform, and AWS. So from these databases, it allows a real-time data protection, which allows changes to your database to be captured and protected in real time, which virtually eliminates the window for potential data loss, as well as incremental forever backups. So after initial full backup, incremental changes are sent, reducing the resource consumption and overall backup windows. Uh, this all gets ingested into our service, which allows for us to provide immutable full virtual full backups and fast data loss recovery. For those that don't know, this is basically just so that your backups, one, can be stored immutably with retention lock, which basically makes sure that it can't be tampered with, which is critical for meeting compliance and security requirements, as well as fast data loss recovery, which in the case of any sort of failure or data corruption, you can recover your database to the exact point in time with no data loss between the failure and the last backup. Uh, we also have the ability to, one, retain your backups for long-term retention. So this basically allows you to meet those longer term retention for or compliance needs, uh, as well as the ability to store into a clean room, which we call a fast restore to a clean room, which is basically a clean database within a different OCI domain or region, which supports uh, fast recovery and business continuity. And all of this is uh, supported by continuous Oracle data validation, which is basically just constantly checking up on your backup data for consistency and recoverability. And what we've initiated that is new is the Zero Data Loss Cloud Protect. So to introduce this, Cloud Protect brings all the advanced benefits of what I just talked about with the Oracle Autonomous Recovery Service to your on-premise Oracle database or any Linux x64 system. So this basically extends the intelligent database protection that we already provide within our cloud, as well as our zero data loss recovery capabilities that we have today into your on-premise solutions. To go a little bit more into what the Zero Data Loss Cloud Protect is, um, it is like what I said, it starts with being able to support your on-premise slash uh, Linux x64 systems to the cloud. So you're providing real-time protection streams from the data that changes that are happening on your on-premise systems to OCI, which you're still being able to get all the same benefits that you get from having the cloud service, such as zero data loss, which helps provide minimal data loss risk, incremental forever backups, uh, mandatory encryption and customer key control, which helps your backups stay encrypted in transit and at rest. And most importantly, you would keep your keys so that Oracle service cannot access them, which enhances your security and compliance. And lastly, just ransomware resiliency. This is one of the biggest focuses that we have within our zero data loss products. We really want to make products that are not only database aware, but designed to help resist ransomware attacks from uh, keeping backups immutable and isolated within the Oracle managed tenancy. So we definitely have a ransomware first mindset when building our products, and we think of all new ways to keep your system safe. And to get a little bit into the what's actually happening, so Cloud Protect is actually integrated with Oracle SQL CL. So this helps automate common database backup and recovery tasks. For those that don't know, SQL CL is a modern and enhanced alternative to this traditional SQL Plus. So basically, you get the specialized tasks for backup and recovery that can be delivered within the Oracle Database command line interface. So Cloud Protect basically simplifies a lot of backup and recovery tasks, such as the ones listed. The first being configuring the database for backup, scheduling RMAN backups, showing the backup health, and lastly, the recovery slash restore window, uh, showing the restore range. Uh, Here that we just kind of show a little bit of what this all looks like from a command line interface, uh, and just showing how the automation pretty much just does all the work for you. There are a few pre-checks, so it does start with having, I know we talked about Linux x64 or having Oracle Database version 19.18 or later. You do need to have encryption tech, so your wallet configuration for backup encryption must be made available. You need to have archive log mode, so the database must be enabled for archive redo backup logs. And then lastly, that status check, which the database is available for backups. Uh, as well as this, your backup environment has to be set up for, well, not only set up, but ready for job creation. So you need to have the recovery catalog registration set up, the RMAN configuration set up, and the ability to schedule tasks. And we do have documentation that will go over just the entirety of the actual setup and it will walk you through it. But once this is all set up, you will be able to see your database and help within the actual cloud environment. And this is basically what we see here. So here we see the on-premises database backup details. So this is all the details within the OCI console. And this basically allows you to see exactly what's going on. The first being the actual health. So currently in this case, we see that it's protected. And this basically just lets you know that your backups are ready for recovery. Um, and the second one we'll point out is the data loss exposure, which at the what we see right here is 1 second. So this is just how long it's been since your last backup. If you are using the 0 day loss feature, it should be as close to zero as possible. Um, you have the current recovery window, which is based off of your protection policy, which is a 14-day recovery window. In this case, you can recover to the last 14 days, 17th hour, 59th minute. And like to basically go over, this is just how far back you can recover. So you can take from the time you're at now, from 14 days, 17 hours, 59 minutes past, you can recover to that exact point. Some other things we'll point out is the recovery window current space use. So this is just how much space you are using for your backup. Uh, and then lastly, we'll just highlight the database unique name, which is just so you know which database is actually being protected. So you'll see once this is all set up, you'll see all this information within the uh, actual OCI console through the backup interface, and you'll kind of see this highlighted that it's provisioned through Cloud Protect so that you know this is your Cloud Protect databases. All right. Um, Now let's get a little bit into the high level architecture. So this kind of just shows the what is overall happening from the flow of getting your data from the actual data center uh, through uh, the internet and then going into the recovery source. I'll walk you through each and every step. But like I said before, one of the main things to keep in mind is that your encryption keys are managed by the customer. So you guys have to manage the keys and they are not accessible by the recovery service, which is a security feature that we have to make sure that we keep those things separate. Um, and like I said, you get all the same features, such as the real-time redo transport, the backups are incremental forever, and the you have the ability for retention lock for your backups to make your backups immutable. So before we get exactly into how that works, we're just going to go a little bit into how the flow is for a standard database service within the cloud. So it starts off with RMAN running on the client. So this is what actually initiates the backups on your database. The database then moves through your private subnet, um, and then into your customer tenancy. So this is just the flow of data goes from the private subnet through the customer tenancy, and that's where it actually lands on the recovery service, which is in a Oracle managed tenancy separate from the customer tenancy. This is so that we can keep the recovery service separate, and it provides another level of security, providing that logical air gap, uh, providing a strong separation and protection from the actual customer tenancy as well. And this design is very similar to what we see from a Cloud Protect perspective, because as we go from there to Cloud Protect, now those databases are now in the actual data center. And in this case, it starts off with RMAN running on your client machine. Uh, it is then securely transmitted over Fast Connect or the internet, which is always compressed and encrypted. Uh, the data then flows from your private subnet in OCI uh, to your sorry, it flows from your through your private subnet and then into the actual through the actual tenancy, similar to like what we just saw from the previous example. Now it's just going straight through because it already has the data from the data center, and then officially it lands in the Oracle managed tenancy. So it is very similar to the process in which you'll see from a cloud perspective. The difference is obviously the system is now on premise and not in your actual cloud customer tenancy. Um, and then for the restore process, it is also very similar and it has a very similar path. The restore starts instead, obviously, from the recovery service infrastructure. Um, and that is, like we said, is in a Oracle managed tenancy. The data flows through a private endpoint in your OCI tenancy, and then through a private subnet, which then allows it to land um, over the Fast Connect slash internet into your customer data center. So it's pretty much the same path, just reversed to restore uh, back to your on-premises database, which allows you to get that data uh, fast through the redo archive logs. Um, and I think a critical detail is that like um, the recovery path is protected by not only this process, but by having a logical air gap for security, um, the retention lock, and having the ability to always keep your keys under your management for the ability to restore when needed. And as well as having the ability to restore to your own data center, the really big benefit is being able to restore within the cloud. Because if something does happen to your on-premise database, we understand that a key requirement is being able to restore to a new clean database while you are investigating and trying to figure out what is that exactly happening to your data center at the moment. So uh, the other option is to actually restore back to a cloud database, which is going to be the exact same path whether you are coming from a cloud database or from using Cloud Protect and uh, recovering from a on-premise database. So it starts always from the recovery service. The data is transferred via a private endpoint and through the customer's OCI tenancy subnet. Um, Once it does that, it then goes directly into the RMN client and starts the actual recovery process to, in this case, either initiate the recovery fully or just go back into the database in which it started from, assuming you did come from the cloud initially. So, with that said, you have the ability to uh, not only backup from on-prem, but backup from cloud. And now you have the ability to recover to not only back to your on-premise database, but also into the cloud itself. And I'm not going to keep harping on it, but the encryption keys must be supplied to restore, to decrypt the protected backup data. And this is something that obviously is a step that is required for recovery in any sort of circumstance. Um, and yeah, at this point, we've provided the ability to have a full end-to-end solution um, of recovery from a cloud service, no matter what database you are coming from, which falls within our vision of universal data protection, no matter what uh, device you are coming from. And yes, last point, uh, you must restore the cloud databases um, directly via RMN CLI. This is something that it's not only ensures full control and auditability of the control process, but it is what we consider a best practice in general. To get a little bit into the overall price, this is very similar to the structure that you'll see within the autonomous recovery service and the zero day loss autonomous recovery service. We charge per virtualized gigabytes per month, and you see the prices listed on the screen. So it's basically 3 cents for the autonomous recovery service and 4 cents for adding the zero data loss capabilities. And you'll see the same thing for Cloud Protect, where for Cloud Protect it is 3 cents virtually. I know it's 3 cents and 0.06, but 3 cents for the Cloud Protect, and then you'll see 4 cents for the actual zero data loss feature applied there. So this again doesn't matter which device you're coming from, you're getting charged the same amount. Um, and it has a lot of the same requirements. I know today recovery service, you get a 10 database, 10 terabyte included with the OCI commercial regions. You can submit a limit request to increase those numbers to whatever is actually needed, which will be reviewed and applied as needed. Uh, so you do have that option. You'll just have to submit a limit request for the actual region and tenancy. Um, and we do have a link at the bottom. It just is the cost estimator. And like you said, it's the same cost, so you can use the recovery service as a baseline, but you can put in your exact values for what you expect you'll need within the cloud service, and it will give you a roughly amount of how much to expect from a total cost perspective. Yeah, so in terms of actually getting started, so you can actually start protecting your on-premises Oracle databases today. This, like we said, was actually announced at AI World and is something that is available to use whenever needed. So, to some steps to get started. The number one is configure your OCI tenancy. You need this obviously for the ability to not only manage your backups uh, within OCI, but also just to see and view your backup data once you do get set up on-prem. You do need to download the Cloud Protect Fleet agent. That will be on your actual on-premise location. You then need to configure the Cloud Protect to send backups to the recovery service. And that goes into a little bit what we saw earlier. A lot of it is very automated, so it should be pretty seamless to set up. And then lastly, from there, you'll just be able to start monitoring your backup status in the recovery service and see how things are doing over time. So right here, we have some documentation for the zero-day loss autonomous recovery service, as well as just some RMN documentation that should help you get started and doing a lot of the tasks that we've listed. All right. So lastly, just to go over a high level what we talked about with the Cloud Protect. So zero data loss per Cloud Protect. Uh, it is it really starts with your on-premise location. You, as we've seen, you have your on-premise databases recovering to your recovery appliance. Um, well, sorry. I think this is more so high level. You can have your on-premise databases recovering to your recovery appliance, but now you have the ability to use Cloud Protect to back up and recover your database into recovery service, which gives you this holistic vision. And ideally, there's more we're looking to do to eventually re protect and recover your databases, your backups within the recovery appliance, within our holistic vision. But today, having that ability to not only back up, but restore via the on-premise solution within your recovery appliance or within your recovery service uh, gives you the ability to be flexible no matter what you want to do. Um, I know we haven't talked about it, but we do have the ability to have a cyber vault within air gap network within a separate data center. So this just kind of highlights a lot of the real um, situations that you can actually solve today within our solutions within the zero data loss product portfolio. And within all this, you get consistent Oracle native backup and recovery model, zero data loss, fast recovery, Oracle validation, end-to-end cloud integrated automation, and unified monitoring and management experiences from on-premise to cloud. So I think this just shows holistically uh, where we're at from a on-premise to hybrid to now cloud protect uh, overall view. And shows where the future of backups is going as we're pushing more towards cloud and uh, using cloud to not only efficiently help with protecting cloud databases, but protecting our on-premise databases as well. And yeah, but lastly, we have some links to learn more, um, some blogs, and as well as previous office hour session. And with that, I can open up for questions. But being that it is a new product, if anyone has any questions, feel free to use the Q&A and ask anything that's needed.
I don't see any questions coming in, Alan.
Yep. Give it a couple minutes, and if someone raised their hand. If you can use the Q&A, it'll be easier.
Yeah, we have to use the Q&A because we can't capture anything in the recording.
we'll give one question came in. What is the major difference between Oracle Cloud Protect and the recovery service? Um, Kelly, you want to take this one, or you want me to take this one?
Yeah, I'll talk about it real quick.
Uh,
So Cloud Protect is designed to manage the backup orchestration for on-premises databases. In the cloud, we have databases already under um, automation with all the cloud tooling that we have included with OCI, AWS, Google, Azure. They all have tooling included with the database. Um, so that tooling sends database backups to the recovery service. In the case of on-premises databases, Cloud Protect provides that level of tooling and automation that then sends data to the recovery service. So the recovery service is always the backup destination. Cloud Protect is the component that lives on premises to provide the automation to send data to the cloud to recovery service. And then there's a question in the Q&A, and the question is, does this use the ZDLRA appliance? So yeah, if you go back a few sessions, if you look at our session history for the recovery, backup and recovery office hours, the recovery service itself is just a large fleet of recovery appliances. And then we have automation that sits on top of those recovery appliances to distribute customers across our fleet. And that's what gives us the recovery service, because cloud's all about automation. But the underlying technology, both on premises for the recovery appliance and in the cloud for the recovery service, is the engineered system that is the recovery appliance. Any other questions? All right, Alan, I think we can wrap up for today.
awesome. Well, thank you everyone for your time. If you do have any questions, you can always feel free to reach out to the PM team and we can get back to you guys whenever, or just reach out to our account management team and we should be able to follow up with any answers to questions that you guys may have. But we hope you guys enjoyed this session and get started with the Cloud Protect feature. Thank you, everyone.